Welcome to Grown Dad Business. This is Aaron Kleiber. I am here in the dad quarters with the nicest suit jacket I have ever seen.
Oh, damn.
Jason Clark.
Getting down to business today.
Woo!
Huh?
Jason Clark is now...
when you start naming it
what?
the dad quarters, I was like, I think we should maybe dress like some fancy gentlemen when we come to the quarters.
Jason, I don't know if you know this. I'm wearing outdoor clothing today.
You look good.
The last 4 episodes, I was in jammies.
Jammies.
Or like paint clothes.
Paint clothes, yeah.
I look like a really, really disgruntled drunk gym teacher.
I'd say today is a step up, actually.
If you see the holes, can you see my
you
balls?
got your Oh, you just said that.
Hey, we're here. We're able to yell out balls and swear words at my house now at the dad quarters because the kids are back in school. Hallelujah, hallelujah. I don't, Rufus Wainwright's version is much better. I might play that as the intro.
There you go.
And Jason, first year.
No back to school.
No back to school.
No back to school.
Ain't nobody going
no
nowhere.
one.
They're on their own.
Yep.
You got to get to college.
Yep. There
Have
you
fun.
go.
Get moving.
Yep.
It's the best. But yeah, it's another back to school episode. And I mentioned Jason's looking dapper today because last episode we talked about changing careers. Jason went from big retail management to now he's a real estate.
I'm gonna sell some property.
I sell property. He's a real estate agent, and that was last week's episode. But today we're celebrating back to school, talking about what comes with that, especially school shopping. Oh, Granddad Business.
Granddad Business with Aaron Kleiber. That's my dad. Hello! Underpants? That is hilarious. You should mouth to rate and review this podcast or my daddy will go into a deep depression. Going down business with Aaron Kleiber.
Boom. Grown Dad Business. I almost said the date like I was pitching. Sometimes we say the date on the other podcast that I do. Right. If you like movies, You Can't Handle the Truth with Sean Collier. You can look that up. But yeah.
200 episodes in, right?
Yeah, dude.
And it's still funny to me because I told Sean the other night, I've listened to every episode. Like, because we talked about it before. I listened to that podcast before I knew you guys.
That was crazy that when you told us that you were fans of that podcast before you even knew us.
Yeah.
Because it's been 3.5 years.
Yeah,
It's been,
Yeah, so
201 episodes.
But it's still to this day, I always find it funny when Sean will be like, and for today, Friday.
Yeah. Because he's looking at his phone.
Come on, man.
How do you? I know.
After 200 some episodes, 3.5 years, lock it in.
That's all right. The last 5 episodes of that podcast, I've been like,
mashed potato brain.
None of my movie trivia is coming out of my brain. Maybe I'm losing it. Am I losing it?
I think you're displacing it.
Oh no.
Yeah, you're
but
putting,
I want to know all the composers of 80s movie soundtracks.
I know.
I knew those things, Jason.
I know.
10 years ago, I knew who wrote.
Well, now you got more important things that are filling up that
Tootsie.
brain space.
I don't now.
No, it's
I know.
okay.
I
I think you're a better man because of it.
Well, but yeah, we're gonna get to talking about back to school in a second. But first, we just want to thank everybody for listening and subscribing. And if you haven't, please rate, review, subscribe, share your favorite episode when it comes out on Facebook, on Twitter. Give us retweets. Thanks, guys. Really, dude.
Yeah,
There's some people listening.
there's people listening, which
it's
awesome.
You can always also catch us on. You can look up our podcast anywhere where you find podcasts, any way you listen. But you can also listen to the Laughable app. If you like comedy podcasts, go check out Laughable. Download the app, and it's every single podcast. Not every single podcast by comedians. You can look up and subscribe to their podcast on the app, but also look up my name. Type in Aaron Kleiber, and you can find all the podcasts that I've also been a guest on.
Right.
Like Doug Loves Movies or John Reap's podcast or Handle the Truth is also on there as well.
Yep.
So it's really cool. Go check out your favorite comedy podcast on the Laughable app. It's pretty neat.
It is. It's a great. If you like comedy podcasts, I mean, it's got everything. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah. And we're giving shout outs to Arcade Comedy Theater because we're moving, dude.
It's happening, man. Yep. We're
2 stages.
3
Huge,
floors,
huge
4
build.
bathrooms. I mean, bells and whistles.
And when we return to Arcade Comedy Theater, we got some special stuff coming up.
We do. So we're going to record our 100th episode.
100 episodes.
Grown Dad Business. Yeah.
100.
We're going to do a live one. We're going to do a live episode on October 6th.
Yeah.
We're going to do it from the new Arcade Comedy Theater.
It's going to be like a storytelling episode.
Yeah. We're going to bring together, obviously, us, and then some of our
very funny people.
Close friends that are also comedians and storytellers and parents.
Yeah.
And we're going to put together a nice little storytelling show and just have some fun and talking about being parents and about your kids. And so it's going to be it's a great format. It's going to be a lot. You're going to love everyone that's on it. So we're going to record it on the 6th. We'll release it on the 13th.
The next week, yeah.
Well, that'll be the actual 100th episode.
You can see that episode live if you come to the live show a week early before it's released.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. If you're in Pittsburgh and listen to this in Pittsburgh, that's where you want to come check it out. So, that's October 6th. We'll be a week old at that point at the theater, at the new theater.
Yeah, that's right.
We will grand open on September 29th. This is our grand opening weekend. September 29th and September 30th. It's a whole weekend of events. 3 shows each night at the theater.
I'm upset. I won't be
You won't be in town. You will not be in town. So, the whole thing, the ribbon cutting, we're going to do some parties, some fundraiser events. We are a nonprofit.
I might fly back.
Yeah, fly
for
back.
a
Fly
night.
in for a
like
night.
Diddy.
Yeah, roll it in. Want to drop that chopper up on the UPMC building.
I'm going to have to borrow your jacket to
That's
fly like Diddy.
Like a bad boy.
Fly-ass jacket.
Bad boy.
Welcome glass
Everywhere.
If it ain't about money, Puff, I just don't care.
So we're doing that, and then the following night on October 7th is our first stand-up get down, our stand-up comedy game show that we do here in Pittsburgh and abroad. We've gone abroad. We're going abroad. We're doing 3. We're going to be together 3 nights in a row. We're going to do the Grown Dad Business 100th episode on the 6th.
Yep.
On the 7th, we're doing the stand-up get down in Pittsburgh at the new Arcade Comedy Theater, and then on the 8th, we're going up to Cleveland, and we're going to do the stand-up get down at Hilarities in Cleveland, which is an incredible comedy club.
And next spring, we're going to be doing stand-up get down in Dayton, Ohio.
We're going to Dayton. We're going to go out to Dayton.
Dude,
So
we're moving around.
So we're moving it around and getting it out to the people. In Cleveland, we're going to do it with 6 Cleveland comics, which is going to be really dope. Great comics in Cleveland. We love Cleveland. I know we're from Pittsburgh. We're based out of Pittsburgh, and if you say Cleveland, people boo you, or if you say Pittsburgh, people boo you when you're in Cleveland.
We like everyone there.
We love Cleveland. It's a great town. So we got a lot coming up, but not for me until we get to that point. I'll be building a theater.
If you want to see me do stand-up in September and October, I am in a lot of places. You can go look on my website and find out exactly where, but South Bend, Indiana, New Jersey, Delaware, North Carolina, Oklahoma City, Little Rock, then back home in Pittsburgh the first week of October, and then, holy crap, Youngstown, Ohio, Louisville, and Erie.
Louisville.
Oh, yeah. That's all in September, October. That's every city I'll be performing in.
Checks are getting cashed, fool.
I'm trying, man. Saving up for Christmas in this house.
Yeah, right. It's time.
But AaronKleiber.com or GrownDadBusiness.com. You can check out dates there. But, dude, I've been in my new house all summer, and my kids have been running around through the woods and playing on the getting sweaty and
ticks.
Ticks. We're dealing with deer. Not anymore.
Got it.
They're back to school.
Yep.
They're back to school.
Mrs. Kleiber had a little bit of an extra bounce in her step when I seen her out in the driveway when I pulled up today.
She cleaned the whole house in like 2 hours.
So fired up.
Yeah.
It's
because now the baby's, I guess, old enough where she will sit down and play. And, you can
get stuff done.
Great.
I remember that transition time. Yeah. When it was just like, oh my goodness, like the children can go do their own thing and you can get some stuff done. Yeah, right. It's awesome.
Oh, that's fun.
I think the thing that you got to, people get excited about the back to school, and we're excited. You're excited to get your kids back to school. I remember that feeling, and how my wife loved that time of year. At the same time, I mean, you cherish every moment with your child. Your children, but then it comes a point where you're just like, all right, you got to go and get educated so mom and dad can do some business.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and you also forget like all the stuff that that you have to do for get ready for school. It's my wife handles a lot of that stuff because she gets the lists from school, and then you got to buy all this stuff. I mean, Jason, you don't have to buy anything now.
No, nothing at all. Me and my wife were at the mall a couple weeks ago, and we seen this family, and they're trying to pick out backpacks. There's a kid over there trying on a Batman backpack. Little girl screaming in the corner because this backpack's not the right backpack. And we just looked at each other and just smiled and said, "You want to go grab some lunch? Like, this is funny. Like, we don't have to deal with this anymore. Let's just move on." So it's an interesting time for us. No more getting up in the morning and worrying about getting off to school and those types of things, which guess
You
what?
just, like,
You think
sleep
that
in.
when they get into high school, you're like, you don't have to worry about those types of things. Oh, it's crazy.
Is
That's
it
what-
worse?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I
Really?
guess it depends on your kid. I mean, like
Oh.
Alexis, my daughter, she would get up, start doing her thing, but you couldn't make eye contact with her because Alexis is not a morning person. You stare into her eyes, it's looking into the depths of hell. She will tear you a new one. And then JC was just like grab him by his ankles and yank him out of bed. So, but some people, their kids are excited about going back to school.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
My kids are still
Back to
kind of excited.
Yeah, yeah.
They're I wanted to bring up this video.
Oh, it's a video. So
and
funny.
I want to be friends with this lady because she's hilarious. Her name's Dena Blizzard, I believe.
Okay.
Did I mess that up? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't check her name. out.
Really funny back to school mom video.
So funny.
Buy the yellow binder.
Yeah, I think what I like about the video is funny. Basically, it's this mom that is going into Target and she has to buy all these supplies, and she's talking about the parents that are complaining about having to buy supplies, and she's just like, "Hell, these teachers are going to take your children and educate them, and they have no money to do
First
this."
of all, like when I first saw the list for school, and my kids are like, they need a box of Kleenexes, they need a. And I'm like, every kid brings in a box of Kleenexes. Every kid has to bring in this. They have to bring in their own pen, a stylus pen for their iPads. My daughter, like, I'm like, what the F? This is a public school. Why am I all buying this stuff? Well, because funding goes other places. Funding goes, and I thought about it. Funding goes to, free school lunches for kids that need them. You know, my whole school district has free lunches. Yeah. Free food. Yeah. That's spectacular. Yeah. Even though my son still wants a pack of lunch like a diva. I'm like, it's free, bro. My mom would Jean-Claude Van Damme me in the mouth.
I never packed lunch when I was a kid.
Oh, hell no.
I always ate school lunches.
No. My
I
mom
was never a packer.
She's like, you got free lunch tickets.
Yeah.
I had to go pick up my free lunch tickets in a poor kid line, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
But I realized, I'm like, and then I'm friends with so many teachers that buy so many things themselves.
I am too. I could probably name off 20 friends of mine that are teachers.
Like if you want Kleenexes in your classroom, you have to buy them.
Yeah.
How many Kleenexes do you think kindergartners use?
Oh, my gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
Like a box a week?
Like your kid will be battling an illness within 5 days of being back to school because it's a petri dish.
Right. 20 kids bringing in a box of Kleenexes. That essentially, that teacher might be stocked up for the first half of the year.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No.
And some of the other stuff. But Dena's really funny.
Orange juice? No, you want some super glue? I'll get you some super glue. I'll get you as much super glue as you want because you're going to teach my kids. And guess what that means? I don't have to teach my kids. All you parents going on there, I'm spending so much money. Oh, yeah. And guess what? You don't think those teachers are spending money? They are going to spend 9 hours a day. They're not even allowed to hit your kids.
She's right.
The best is during the video when you watch it, and Aaron will share the link on the when we post this. She pulls out. She sets the phone up on a shelf.
Didn't even mention it.
Oh, what?
Oh, I said she doesn't even mention it. It just happens.
No, she just sets the phone up on the shelf and pulls out a small. Looks around real quick and pulls out a little bottle of the airplane bottle of vodka.
Pounds it
and drinks it. And she's
shopping.
You want a microwave? You want a microwave for your classroom?
I'll get you a microwave.
I'll buy you a microwave. And she takes the microwave and puts it in. And
it's one of those things I told Jason, I go, God damn it, I wish we would have thought of that. That is funny.
So funny.
She's funny. I mean, I got to look her up. I didn't look her up more. She might be a comedian.
Yeah, we don't know.
I know I saw some like pictures on her Facebook page is like her with a mosaic of children and stuff like.
But it hits home. I mean, on so many different levels of just like, there's the people out there that are complaining about having to buy the supplies.
Right.
But then when you break it down and like you said, talk to your friends that are teachers. The amount of out-of-pocket money, especially if they're a public school teacher, I mean, is unbelievable. I knew teachers in a school district where they funded their own pantries in their classrooms because they found that their kids were coming into school and they were hungry because they haven't eaten since the last school lunch, and they have to take care of these children. I mean, they find that they think that they're going to diagnose these kids of maybe having a disorder as far as attention deficit disorder. It turns out that they're hungry, and that's what this teacher explained to me. She opened up her closet where you think maybe she has all supplies. No. it was snacks. It was healthy snacks. So if our kids were hungry, so there's so much. Our teacher friends put so much their own money, and we know that they're not exactly, paid, crazy money. I mean, but it's coming out of their pocket to fund these. To fund these things that they need for their classrooms.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little overwhelmed by the list when I first started.
It is a
getting
lot,
it.
yeah.
But then, my wife was a preschool teacher for years, and one of the biggest complaints I had about my wife's job was that she bought a ton of crap for her classes.
Yeah.
And she was a preschool director. Now, she taught 2 classes, but she ran like 5.
Yeah.
And she would buy supplies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why you got to buy 50 pieces of poster board? And like they don't reimburse them, and that's rough.
Yeah, they're not turning receipts in. The school districts be like,
and you
that was your choice. You didn't need construction paper.
Well, you know what? I mean,
you did.
It's nice to see that the teachers care about their kids, our kids.
Yeah.
And they do buy that stuff. But, man, I get it now. Like I'm like, yeah.
Are your kids on uniforms at your school, or they have like a dress
on what
code
school they go to? Yeah, they're in uniforms. Yeah.
Okay, like
that was
not necessarily. They're not going to a uniform company because my daughter went to a Catholic school.
Yeah, they
had to actually get, buy the uniforms that were designed for that school. But they'll say like schools because it's a public school, and they will say you need to wear a dark colored polo shirt and you can only wear.
No,
these pants.
my kids go to a uniform school.
Yeah,
and that was one of the things too where we look at the list and I was like, my kids can wear 4 things. I'm like, what? But then once again, my wife, she's pretty creative, and she does a good job. She did a good job of like her and my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law. Did we do that? I don't know if we do that. Nah, not the same ring to it. As my wife. Shout out to DB Doug Benson. But yeah, they've done a good job of like kids have different colored polos and like pants and skirts and things like that, and. Gym days, they dress for gym clothes and with gym clothes and stuff.
I find the uniform
but buying
thing,
all that crap, jeez.
Yeah.
I'm like, we got to buy like pleated khakis and khaki skirts.
Yeah.
And then you got to buy a bunch of that new stuff every single year.
Yeah.
It's
especially your kids are at the age where
my baby's getting all hand-me-down khaki skirts. I ain't buying no more $30 khaki skirts for a 7-year-old.
Yeah, because the pants that are fitting your son now, come midterm is like, oh
my
boy,
God,
poor kids in floods.
My kids need a new pair of shoes every 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Now we have this big yard. My son's shoes look like he's been wandering the streets like. He's been jogging across country like Forrest Gump for a year. I'm like, what the hell did you do to your shoes, bro?
Right.
He was like, just playing,
man,
playing
hard.
In what? Scissors? What are you running in a pile of scissors? What? It's just
he's playing
it looks
hard.
Like he runs in a pile of shit-covered scissors,
He's
Jason.
Playing hard.
Like, what the hell are you doing?
That's some hard playing.
And then I watch him swinging, dragging his feet in the dirt and the mulch, and climbing on the fire pit. Like, Jesus. A little nut. And then my daughter changes clothes every 48 minutes.
Beautiful.
So she runs through her clothes and shoes, and God's sakes. Remember when I was a kid, I just told my kids the other day, I said, when I was a kid, I would get 1 pair of school shoes. And God damn it, Jason. They better last.
Yeah.
They better if they didn't last till Christmas, my ass was grass.
Yeah.
That's what we say around here.
Yeah, school shopping for me and my family was not what you see a lot of people that do now, or even back then. I mean, we just were in a different we said before. I mean, I grew up in a biker family, and it was just like, my brother was easy. He's like, "What Harley shirt am I wearing to Votech today?" And I'm like, I'm sitting there like, "Nah, man, I want to I've got a style.
I want a Blizzard of Oz shirt.
I got a style. I got this." And then you become I remember the awakening of like going into like 7th grade and meeting this new group of friends that were from other schools.
Right.
And you grew up with this same group of people through elementary school, and I'm rocking Pro Wings.
Yeah.
Like, is it, and we didn't give a crap.
Oh, we talked about that growing up and getting certain shoes.
And then you woke up to that and you're like, oh, my parents are like, you want me to pay what?
I mean, I haven't dealt with that yet. Did you deal with that at all with your teenagers?
No, which was interesting because I actually I got ahead of it.
Yeah.
Like, I got ahead of it. And I remember my daughter, we were buying
Was there
essentials.
cool things for millennials? Is there like, you had to have this besides fidget spinners?
No,
or whatever?
I mean, there was a phase, especially with my son, where the name brand shirt, like from
Right.
from Aeropostale.
Oh,
or,
yeah.
like they had to have that type of shirt. Hollister. There was a time where
I
that
remember
was
that.
very important, but
Right.
it came and it kind of went.
Yeah.
It didn't seem, and
Man,
it might be different in
Gen
different.
Xers, dude, it was like if you don't have these
Yeah.
shoes, you are a fucking loser.
Yeah.
Like, dude, there'd be like
There was a
remember
lot of pressure on
starter
that.
jackets, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're from cold weather areas, but if you didn't have a starter jacket,
Yeah.
you were a loser. And I said before, my mom bought me a Logo 7 jacket,
Yeah.
and I was devastated.
Yeah.
I was devastated.
Yeah.
And people were like, what brand is that? I wouldn't even wear it. My mom screamed at me.
Yeah, because she worked hard to even afford that
I know.
for you and thought she was doing the right thing. And
Well, starter jacket was like, what, $100?
easy.
And
yeah.
the Logo 7 was like 45.
Sure, and you got it at Gabriel
50?
Brothers.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
But she tried. My mom, I will say, growing up, always tried. You know, I wanted BK lights, and I got like Donkey Kong lights or whatever. I don't know what I got. We did talk about that on another episode.
But that's a tough thing as a parent because you know, I mean, you want to sit there on one hand and people just be like, "Oh, it doesn't matter." It does matter, and that's why I fall on both sides of the street on this as far as uniforms.
Yeah.
I get it. And I support the idea of it because it takes
Sure.
a lot of the thinking out of it.
Right.
It takes a lot of the pressures out of it.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
But then on the other side, I do respect individuality and people's ability to express themselves through their clothing.
Right.
I think that's important to be able to
Sure.
have it show their personality through their clothing. But I probably fall more on the support of the uniform side.
I've actually heard that uniforms help kids define a style even better because they can't wait to wear what they want to wear.
True.
You know what I mean? That's interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see if like my daughter reaches high school and then all of a sudden, you know, comes home from school and then puts on her black clothing and black eyeliner.
Oh,
and
jeez,
I don't
yeah.
think she'll be that.
No, I
don't
think
she'll
you're
be-
all right.
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if Luke the Nuke. I don't know what his style's gonna be. He seems like a simple dude.
He does seem like, yeah, just give me a T-shirt and let me go.
Yeah, he don't care.
You know what I mean?
He'll be wearing Wolverine shirts and Batman shirts. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. I mean, now it's like we had to get like 2 pairs of shoes per kid.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you need, you know, certain types of shoes. You can wear tennis shoes all the time.
Okay.
You know, it was like, but then, you know, they have play shoes and they have 2 different kinds of school shoes. I mean, holy moly.
Yeah.
And then my son, we got to buy food because he don't want to buy a lunch. I think he's scared of this one lunch lady.
Oh no.
She's like,
It's got the scary
of
lunch
her.
lady.
I remember when he first. I think my daughter, when she first went to school, she's like, they're mean. I'm like, well, they're shuffling 1,000 kids through a lunch line, and they're like, just take your cookie and get moving.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they're like, they're just yell at us, and I'm like, well, you kids are slow.
I learned at an early age to get on the good side of the lunch lady.
Oh, me too, bro.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I'd flirt with them.
Oh, she's gonna
Dude,
hook me
the
up.
high school lunch ladies,
Yeah.
I had them all in the palm of my hand, bro.
Yeah. Why don't you throw another slice of pizza on that plate?
Come on, bro.
Come on, you got me right. She's like,
I'm
"Oh,
like-
Jason, you're so funny." That's good. How'd you get 2 slices of pizza? Come on, man. I talked to Mary Beth real good.
Right?
Yeah.
How'd you get an extra helping of
Yeah.
baked beans?
And if you knew,
And I did that,
and if you had a lunch lady from your neighborhood, it was on.
Well, one of my friends from church that I grew up with, their mom was a lunch lady, and that was clutch.
Oh yeah.
But then the head lunch lady, the mean one that ran one of the registers, little mean lady, just like "Nyah, nyah, nyah." She loved me.
Yeah.
You'd get 3 chocolate chip cookies for $1, dude. I probably got chubby because of her.
I just had a
I'd throw her $1, she'd throw me 5 cookies.
I just had this flashback when you said about head lunch lady. There's that head lunch
yeah.
lady, and our head lunch lady in elementary school. I just had this flashback where if the room got too loud, she would walk around with a knife.
What?
Okay, listen, hold on. I know.
What?
Don't jump to conclusions.
Okay.
She would with a butter knife, and she'd hold the
I
butter
just
knife.
thought of Jack Torrance walking around The Shining, dragging an axe along the floor.
She would hold the butter knife by the blade, and then she would hammer it on the table.
What?
The handle of it, she would slam it on the table.
A knife.
a knife to get everyone to shut up. I just remember she always had this butter knife, and when you see her pull the butter knife out, you're like, oh no, we better pipe down. But then you'd get a little bit louder, and she would pound on this table, and it would just echo all through the cafeteria just to get the whole cafeteria to shut up. Oh, it was bedlam. Bedlam.
Wow.
Craziness.
Yeah, I've seen a couple lunch ladies lose their minds. You know what I mean?
It's a lot, man.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
I got suspended. I don't know. Should we? We're gonna do a whole podcast just talking about getting in trouble in school.
I don't have anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, this is the Aaron Kleiber podcast.
Yeah, I got detention one time, and it was just because I was late for class.
What?
That's it. Nah, man, I was a good dude.
Jason, I have a plaque.
Well,
in the principal's office.
Well, I mean, it's a well-documented thing over almost 100 episodes that you kind of a son of a bitch at one point in your life.
I was a piece of shit.
You were garbage. But I stayed out of trouble, man. I just didn't. I was good. I was good, dude, man. I just made my way. You know? I got away with a lot of stuff. I mean, but no, I didn't get into fight. I didn't do any of that in school, man. It was like, I wasn't down for that.
Well, we're excited. I'm excited for back to school. This is a short episode.
That's it. We're banged out.
We don't have to BS all day. You don't have to hear us complaining.
No.
Jason and I got business moves to make today.
We do.
He's got his jacket on. I have a great meeting today. Hopefully you'll hear more about that in the future.
Yeah.
And then I got to cut the grass because grown dad business, guys. Hey, and remember, rate, review, subscribe, share it.
Like it, love it.
Yeah.
Hug it.
Yeah.
Hug it. You gonna hug the podcast?
Here's this is my friend now. I'm calling her my friend because she's so funny and she's a fellow parent. I'm gonna play you out with some more Dena.
You're gonna play it out.
Yeah, Mama Dena.
Your kids for an entire year, and all you guys gotta say, I don't want to buy the pencils.
She just swigged the vodka.
Pencils.
Buy the fucking pencil.
All you want is some pencils, and you're gonna teach my kids all those. I'll get you some.
A boom.